Okay. Should be able to hear me now. Okay. All right. Mhm. Okay. Should be able to hear me now. All right. Okay. All right. We're about to get this thing started. All right. Mhm. Okay. Should be able to hear me now. All right. Okay. All right. We're about to get this thing started. All right. Mhm. Okay. Should be able to hear me now. Okay. All right. Good afternoon, everybody. This is Ann Austin coming to you from the BMWOC group, and this is my webinar for today. Hopefully, we're going to have some people join into this conference because we're going to be talking about when to rebrand your business. And so I'm trying this new setup today, and hopefully this will work out. I'm trying something a little bit different here from Cloud. I want to apologize in advance for any noise that we have in the background because we have some other businesses working here, and some of them are a bit excited. So I'm just really excited to be here giving this webinar, and hopefully we're going to have some people join in. So I'll just give it one more minute to let's get this started. Okay, I'm pretty sure we had quite a few people who were interested in this webinar. But if not, we're just going to keep it moving. All right. So, one of the first things I wanted to talk about in terms of when you rebrand your business is that there is a lot of stuff going on in terms of, how your business is functioning, when is it slow, when is it doing so many different things. And so, one of the ways in which we are thriving in our business is learning when we need to rebrand our business for whatever reason. We just need to understand when our business changes and things like that. So I'm just going to go over just some talking points here, and then I'm also going to be talking about how you can resolve some of these issues that you're having with your small business and things like that. So just going to go ahead and do this real quick. Let's see here. Let's see here. It's done. Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about is when you have hit the glass ceiling. So, one of the things we're going to talk about is when do you know that you have hit the glass ceiling? So, um, one of the ways in which you have hit the glass ceiling is that you have exhausted all of your talent and creativity that you have in your business, that you find that, you're just lacking to be creative. You're lacking to be creative, you're lacking to do a lot of things, and you just don't seem to have a way to just continuously be creative in your business. So, when you're exhausting all of your talent and your creativity in the business, it really hits you hard because that is when you start to feel like, or at least some people I've talked to feel like that they don't have anything left to give to their business. And so you have to understand that your business is going to change and you constantly have to be creative in your business. This is how a lot of big companies are continuing on out here with their business. They're constantly thinking of different ways in which they can be creative in their business. And then that also leads to how many times or how often that you can use your talent in that creativity. And what I mean about that is, do you have the capacity and the knowledge to continue to exude your talent so that you can show some creativity? And a lot of times, it's just really, really hard to do. So, um, that is one of the that is when you know you hit the glass ceiling in a lot of things. Okay. Another tip is that you really just don't have nothing else to learn um, in your business, and that actually can hinder your business because there are so many people out here that feel like that they don't feel like they need to learn anything because they know everything there is to know about their business. This can actually cause you to hit the glass ceiling. Okay, just when you thought, and it doesn't mean that you're doing anything wrong. It just means that you're pretty much like at the tip top of what you're trying to do in your business, and it really just means that you don't have anything else that you really need to add or you need to learn to make it more better for your business. And a lot of times you just need to see what it is that you need to incorporate that's different in your business to make sure that you learn something. So learning something doesn't always mean that you have to sit down with a book and you got to take a course and stuff like that. It just means you just need to learn what's different about your business so that you can be creative and that you can use your talents to be creative. Okay. The other way that you could tell how you are hitting the glass ceiling is that nobody else can teach you anything new. And when somebody else cannot teach you anything new, this is another reason why you will end up hitting the glass ceiling in your business. And this is when you're going to have to rebrand your business because now you got to the point where if somebody else is trying to give you some comments or try to help you with some things, it will prevent you from being able to go higher than where you're supposed to be going now. Um, Another thing is when you hit the glass ceiling is that you are no longer unique. If you're not unique in your business anymore, then you're going to be a cookie cutter business. It's just that's just the way it is. I kind of feel like that there's always some uniqueness to some business somehow, right? So, in order for you to break through that glass ceiling, you have to be able to be unique and you have to allow someone to teach you something new and you have to have an open mind to learn fr- something else that's different about your business, and then you can use your talent to create something more unique about your business, and that's where your talent come to play. So you see how I went from the bottom up on how you can rebrand your business, just understanding when you have hit that high ceiling and now you can't go above because you have these five things standing in your way. And it happens to all of us, and a lot of times, to be honest with you, we don't even know that we are even in one of these categories. A lot of times we're just doing what we do on a regular basis because we're so good at what we're doing, but what we're actually doing is we're cutting off the information that we could be intaking so that we can stay unique. Okay. So when you're unique like that, you can always learn from somebody else. You can always learn what's different about your business, and you can always have someone to teach you something so you can use your talent to its full potential. And that is what I'm trying to relay in these points right here. So when people see this thing about the glass ceiling, the first thing they think of, oh my God, I'm just hitting the glass ceiling. She don't know what she's talking about. Now, we all hit the glass ceiling. In retrospect to your business, we're also talking about your career because remember, I said earlier in my other videos, we're talking about your career. A lot of times we hit the glass ceiling in our career because we do exactly the same exact thing. We are no longer unique in the skills that we do every day. Nobody is teaching us anything new because we're not communicating to other people who we work with so that we can gain that additional knowledge. You don't want to learn anything else because you already have a rhythm, you already have things going on, and Then what happens? You exhaust your talent. You have no other talent to add to your resume. So, either whether you're in business or whether you are in career, if you are in these four categories here, you have hit the glass ceiling to your business. And this is when you need to reevaluate and rebrand yourself. Rebrand your business to see where you can learn something, where somebody can teach you something, where you can best use your talent. And then you can come back and be unique again and be profitable in the business that you're doing. So, this is just my one talking point. So, if anybody got questions, please just put it out there. There will be a little delay in the chat, but I will answer your question when you come out there. So, let me get to the next topic because I have some other stuff to cover. So, let's get to the next one. All right. So, here we go again with the next one here. Um, so when do you stop getting clients? Okay. So when you stop getting clients, it's it's a whole process. It's a whole process to get your clients back. Okay. Um, when you get your clients back, you have to go through a whole lot of everything. Okay. The first thing that happens to you is that you stop getting clients because you stop networking. Okay, you stop going to events, you stop being interactive with people, whether it be social media or in person. You stop getting referrals, you stop making referrals. So not only you're not getting referrals, but you're also not making referrals either. Okay, you're not making phone calls, you're not marketing to your clients, because now it's a slow period in your business. It doesn't mean that you're not doing what you're supposed to do in your business. These are just loopholes that business owners and people in their careers tend to fall into when times get slow, when times get super busy and you don't have time for anything else. We all fall into this stuff. And what ends up happening is we lose the value in our service when we're talking to our customers because we stop learning how to navigate and market to our target audience. Okay, if that makes sense. So, what I'm saying here in effect is, in order for us to rebrand our business, we have to start from the bottom up again. We have to show the value. What is the value in our business? And when we understand the value in our business and how it changed over time, because remember I said earlier, your business will change. So as your business change over time, you have to always, always, always find out what that value is that has changed in your business and learn how to navigate, and that's where your business plan come from. So you got to have your business plan so you can constantly look at it and see where the value has changed. You also want to take that value and learn how to remarket to your clients, and that means you have to start making phone calls again and start talking about something different and exciting that is about your business. You got to start making referrals. You got to start getting referrals from people, because if you're not on the mouth of your customer, then your customer is not like talking about you, they're talking about somebody else. So both of you guys got to have your businesses coming out of your mouths in order for the referrals to happen. Okay, I had a client here today who I met through social media, just engaging on social media. And he came down and we talked about how we can add value to each other. And I learned more about his business and he learned more about my business. And now we're actually going to be doing something together that's going to help who? The clients, right? So the whole idea is for his business to make money and for my business to make money. But in order to do that, I have to get the referrals from him. I got to make the partnerships with him. So it goes hand in hand. So those things, that's why we keep talking about networking in this group, because it is so important to do that. If we're not networking, if we're not being interactive, if we are not talking to each other, we are literally, no joke, and anybody can tell you, you are literally cutting yourself off from your client. You are cutting yourself off from potential people who could be paying you money for your services. And that is the hard, and believe it or not, of all the stuff you got to do in your business, this is by far the hardest thing you have to do, because your clients are everywhere. They're everywhere. If you don't believe me, just talk to some of the people who are in your group who have businesses, who network. Talk to the people who've been on these webinars that talked about networking. It is the critical part of your business. Now, in saying that, if you are working professional, okay, if you have a normal job, this still works for you. if you're out there trying to find a job, right? If you're trying to find a job, how are you going to show the value in the skills that you're doing if you're trying to get hired for a job, right? Because if you're trying to get hired for a job, then hang on a second here. It looks like some stuff is acting up here. So if you're trying to act for a job, then um, more than likely nobody's going to understand, what your value is because you're not looking at what where you changed in your career. You're not looking at where you changed in your career. You're not looking at where your skills lie that will bring value to your resume. A lot of times we have the same resume over and over and over and over again, but what is different? What value have you added over time, right? Now, how do you market that? Through LinkedIn, through professional networking, through making phone calls, through um, making referrals, referring yourself to an organization who is also making a partnership with you. And those people are the ones that help get you the jobs because now you're actually doing what you need to do to get that job. So you constantly have to network with people, and again, by far is one of the hardest things because with networking you have to actually talk to people in order to get that job, and they go hand in hand. So that's why I wanted to talk about those things. You can't go further if you're not willing to invest the time to do these things, and anybody can fall into these five categories right here because we do it all the time. We're so busy doing what we do on a daily basis, we don't even think about that. So how do you resolve that? You definitely have to look at your resume and or look at your business plan and see where you can change the value in what you're doing. Also remarket that to highlight that new value. We do it all the time. Matter of fact, food places. We always use McDonald's and Coca-Cola and some of these other places. Look, I got a new color bag. You look, I got a new sandwich. But it's the same sandwich. They just found something unique about it that makes you go and buy it. And you have to do the same thing with your business and you have to do the same thing for your resume, okay? So those are important things that we all need to do in order to rebrand your business and your personal life if you want to break through the glass ceiling and get out there because that's what you got to do. So the next one we're going to do is your services and products are not selling. Okay, so what we're going to talk about that. All right, so we're going to get there. So when your services and your products are not selling, what tends to happen? This is what usually happens. Again, this is like the other side of this. So your business is much slower than usual. The word of mouth stops. You're no longer unique, and your products and services no longer valuable. Again, it's the same type of thing. If your products and services is no longer valuable to someone who wants to buy it, then they're not going to spend the time, the gas, or the energy to go out to your business and buy your product. Your product has to be in a way where people want to come out and they want to buy your service and products. How many times have we sat up and said, I'm going to get in a car and I'm going to go drive to Walmart because I just got to get this moisturizer for my hair because it just does this thing, this and that, and the other, because somebody told me about it and I just thought I would try it because this person said it was good. But remember, the key word is another person said it was good, right? So because that person said it was good, you went out there, got in your car, burned your gas, went out there, bought this moisturizer, and yes, it's really good. But let's say, for instance, you met someone and they said, no, don't get this product, don't get this service because I had a bad experience. What would that happen? That word of mouth, that negative comment can actually cost you a customer. So you have to brand your business in a way so that people can overlook the negative comment that someone said about your business. It will always be the word of mouth, the positive one, that's going to overwrite the negative one. And this is when you need to go back to point one and two that I talked about earlier, where you have to look at the value in your product and say, what has changed? What can I do to make it better? How can I use my talent or my knowledge to make it more creative so that people can say, I don't want to listen to whoever says something bad about this product. I'm going to try it anyway. I'm going to spend my money on it anyway. That is what you want for your business, and how you rebrand that. You're constantly rebranding. You're always looking for that positive thing in your business that you can constantly sell over and over and over again. And that's what you want to do. When business is slow as usual, this is when you want to plan how that rebranding is going to occur. This is what we're talking about in the month of June. We're talking about how you can sit down and actually plan out your next few months on how you're going to market your product. Who is going to be looking at it? Why would someone buy your product? Because now it's slow. You don't have as many clients. Who are you going to target? Where your next new customers are going to come from? That is where you do all of your planning, and you test it out. You go out there and you do surveys, and you poll people, and you ask people what they like about a certain thing to try to get to know them. And this is the time where you really engage your audience, because now you're finding out that your client base has changed. And when your client base has changed, so does what? Your whole entire business strategy, which we're going to talk about that too. So again, we're going to have these tips and stuff here in the playback. So if you missed the first two, please make sure you catch the playback to catch the first two talking points that we talked about. Now we're talking about your services and products and not selling. And we're going to get to the next one. If you have any questions in the chat, there is a delay because I'm using this platform for the first time. But please make sure you add your questions here, and I will be sure to answer your questions either before or after or even during the webinar. Okay, so let's move on to this next one. Okay, so how do you rebrand? Okay, so we're going to get into the how you rebrand your business. And this is really important for everybody who is listening to this right now on how you're going to do that. Okay, so one of the things you're going to do first is you need to have a very, very clear understanding that your business has changed gears. Okay, this is really important. People do not like change at all. Once you get into a rhythm, some kind of rhythm in your business, okay, it is very hard to change. It is so very hard to change your business once you have gotten a formula, once you have gotten it down pat, once you got your niche going on. The last thing you want to do is change something about your business, okay? But unfortunately, your business strategy has to change at some point. It is inevitable. Just like your career. Your career is the same way. Your career will constantly change. It is inevitable, but you have to learn when to make the change, when you know that you're on the bubble. I call it the bubble because that's what you're on. That bubble is going to pop. You can be on the high ground making thousands of dollars, don't matter, but something's going to happen, and your business is going to change, and you're going to have to change with it. Your career is going to have to change. And that means understanding and accepting the change, because that's just what you're going to have to do. Now, what do you need to do? The first thing you need to do, instead of going bottom up, this time you're going to go top down, right? So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to look at the industry and see what has changed. What is different about your specific industry that has changed in order for you to have to make this drastic change you don't want to do? And this can be for your business, or this can be for your career. You also want to find out how people are accepting new marketing materials. What is the norm? What is the thing that's going on now that people are saying, my goodness, this is like fantastic marketing? What is that? What does it look like? And why do they like it? What is it so special about this different marketing technique that people are just going gaga for? You're sort of doing the same thing, but it doesn't have the same effect, right? So what are you doing, or what are they doing, I should say, that is making people just like fall out of their wallets and just start buying everything from this one product. I mean, I've literally saw marketing that was like two little things and people were just going absolutely crazy for it. And I'm like, okay, that's kind of different. Okay, then you have to look at, do you have the skill to market in the same tactical way that they're marketing? Okay, this is something you either have to learn how to do, or you're going to have to get with someone who knows how to do this stuff, or maybe there's a course out there you could take or something like that. But you really have to understand, you got to really like get in there. You have to dig in and see, how are people being marketed to, and can I afford to, or can I learn how to market the way that people are marketing today? And is it right for my business? Is it right for my career? Is it just right, period? And how can you leverage it once you know how you want to do it? Once you have it in your hand and it's on your products and it's on your services and it looks good and it feels good, how do you leverage it? This is the core of rebranding, because once you have these five things, your business is going to be completely different. Everything about your business is going to be literally brand new, because you're going to have a new understanding of what's changed. You're going to have to adapt to what's in the industry so that your business can compete. Right? You're going to have people competing against you. You're going to also have enough, there's enough work for everybody, but there's still competition. So you still have to understand, how are you going to be able to market the same way those businesses are effectively marketing and making money? Some of these things are expensive and some of them are very, very low cost. But you got to understand how that is, right? So, and then those tactics has to be something that you can manage on a day-to-day basis, right? So, is it something that you have to get a virtual assistant to help you with? Do you need a web developer? Do you need somebody to help you with web design? Do you need someone that's just going to constantly be there on your website because it requires a lot of changes? These are some of the things you just have to look at. And then, as far as how you leveraging it, are people coming back to your website to buy your products? Are they always referring your website to other people? Are they, are you getting word of mouth calls all of a sudden because somebody told someone who told someone who told someone, and they just happen to be referred to you, and all of a sudden you have a client out of nowhere? This is rebranding, folks. That's really what it is. It's literally starting from scratch almost all over again, knowing your business inside and out, and coming up with a new, innovative, creative formula for your business. And that's really what it's all about on that terms. Okay. So, okay. So we're getting down to the last two. Um, Another thing is about how to rebrand your business, or when to is the benefit of reevaluating your business. What is the whole? Why should I even go through all of that you saying, Anne? Why should you go through all of that, right? What is the benefit? The first benefit, first off, is that you find out where you stand in the business that you are in. It's nothing worse than being a business owner and you have no idea um, where you stand in your business. How do you compete with others and your allies, and even the ones that you have a partnership with? How do you stand? I mean, where are you in the numbers? Are you even in the running? Are you in last place? Are you in first place? Where are you? And we can make partnerships. And, I love to do partnerships all day, with people who are like minded. But at the same time, they're still my competition, my allies. They're still my competition. And I have to be careful not to do partnerships that is too aligned to what I'm doing, or else I will be losing out, and I'll be constantly confronted with, high competition for my business, because competition is out there. You can't say it's not out there. There is enough work for everyone, but you also have to think smart too. How can you leverage your business to the fullest potential? And that means knowing where you stand among all the other people who are doing exactly what you do and how you're different. So I posted a post earlier in the group asking, how unique are you in your business? How unique are you in your career? That question is really important, because if you don't know how unique you are, then how you going to explain it to your future customer? Your future customer could be in this group. You never know. But if you're not saying anything, if you're not engaging, then you're not going to find your client. And that's really what it's all about. The next one, well, we talked about that. Even though it's enough business, still competition. And the third one is even when know when to plan when your slow season so you don't get behind, right? So that is the key to small businesses. A lot of times we have so much going on. It is so easy for us to get left behind in technology, left behind in our industry, left behind in our skills because we don't have time to go to training, left behind because we don't come to networking events to meet people who are doing what we're doing and understanding how we are doing this stuff. We can't be left behind, guys. We are too small of a business to be left behind. Now, you got some people in this group who probably have bigger businesses. They have bigger businesses. They already know this stuff. That some of them they're probably going to catch the playback because they already know. They've been through the trenches. This is really for like small businesses who are trying to keep their business going. And so in order to do that, you cannot be left behind in none of this stuff because as I said in point 1 and point 2, your technology, your skill depends on you being unique and you being creative in your business. So when it's slow, this is the time to plan, especially your financials. Set your goals. Find out how much money are you trying to make? How much money are you trying to make in a year? How much money are you trying to make in 4 years? Um, if you get left behind and you don't understand what your strategy is, guess what's going to happen? You're going to leave money on the table. You're going to leave money. Clients are not going to find you. Clients are not going to buy your stuff. They're not going to understand what has changed with your business over time. If you look up any major business out there, from Walmart to Target, what's the first thing they have up there under their corporate responsibility page? They have a whole timeline history of their organization from the time they started all the way up to the present day to where they have been over the last 10, 15, 20 years. Can you say the same thing about your business? Can you actually put a timeline of milestones that you have done with your business to show that you have grown and you were innovative in your business? Okay, you have to be innovative. You have to switch up with the time, and you got to be quick. Okay, you got to be real quick on doing it. And with your financials, that's going to be your gauging point on how you're doing financially. Now, when you're a very tiny business, for the first couple of years, you're not really going to make that much money. But as you start getting into your business and you're making money, those financials become utterly important because that tells you who and what your clients are buying, why they think it's important that their price stays that way. I worked for an organization who had their prices, their membership for more than 12 or 13 years. And the moment that they switched up the membership fees, guess what happened? And this is a true story. They lost half their membership. They lost half their membership because the memberships did not want to pay these extra prices or whatever prices they thought was changed. It really wasn't that big of a change, but it was a big enough change that half their membership decided, no, I'm not going to renew my membership. This is not valuable to me. I'm not getting that much out of it, and I'm going to save my money and cut my losses. Okay. So, as a very tiny business, as some of the people going to watch this playback, you cannot afford that. You have to update your business plan. It is a living document. It is your guide on how you are going to run your business, your financials. It's also going to help you with your goals with your business on how much money you're trying to make. And it also helps you price your products. So if you don't have a team, you need a team. You need to get somebody who's going to help you with your plan. If you can't write your plan, you need to get an accountant that's going to help you with your financials. If you don't know how to do that, you need to get a lawyer to help you understand contracts because contracts is a big part of small businesses. A lot of my business come from those who will sign a contract with me. So if you are not doing these things with your business, you have to protect your IP. You have to look out for your business and make sure that you are on the right path. And so we're going to talk about not government contracting. We're going to talk about contracting in this webinar on another day, because I think that contracts for small businesses is really important. And I think business need to understand the power of a contract, whether it's a small contract, a work for order, a SOW, or a memorandum of understanding. You need to understand what that means for your business and how valuable that value adds to your business. Okay. So again, if you have any questions, please leave them in the chat. I would definitely ask, and we're going to move on to the next thing so we can keep it moving. All right. So here's some of the things we're going to talk about in terms of how do you want to even rebrand your business. Okay. Look like I got a little typo there. Okay, so just to get into here, we're going to talk about this as I talked about the business plan real quickly. You need to reconstitute your business strategy plan, not just the executive summary. You need to really like dig into that plan and understand what your actual core strategy is. What is it that your core concept of your business is, and how you're going to strategize that over 1 to 3 years so that you can understand your thing. Okay. All righty. So it looks like I'm starting to see some comments. Hello, everybody who have joined. Thank you for joining. Okay. So this now, when I talk about strategy, okay, I'm talking about really laying out exactly how you plan to, and I'm not talking about marketing. I'm talking about how do you plan to operate your business when you are small and you're not making that much money and you need to pay for a team and you need to have all this stuff. How do you strategize your business so that you are monetizing it to the point that you are starting to get clients and people are starting to know who you are? That's when you need to reconstitute your plan. This is the time when things seem to dry up that you go back to your strategy plan and you reevaluate and say, okay, this is valid, this is valid, this is no longer valid. I need to go back and change this, and I need to find out why did it change. Okay, and then you're going to write in your plan what that change is so you can see it on paper. Okay, you got to see it on paper, because if it's not written down, it didn't happen, right? So that's what you want to do. Okay. Now, the second thing is you want to go through your products and services in your business plan. You want to make sure that the products that you have are still relevant. Are the services still relevant? Is there anything in there that's outdated or maybe people don't care about anymore? Okay. So I'm going to use myself as an example. Okay. So in the last couple of years, my business has actually transformed from more career development to more business like. And so I had to make the adjustment to my plan. And then when you go to my website, you're going to see there's an adjustment to my website, which leads me to number 3, right? You have to have a website to attract your new clients. And this is your first step to rebranding, because that's the very first thing that people want to know about you, right? They want to know, do you have an email address? Do you have a website? Can I go to your website and get more information, or can I use your website to share with other people? If your website is not up to date with your changes to your business, you're going to be attracting the wrong clients. You're not going to get the type of clients that you're looking for because you're not updating that. So that you have to do in your planning. Again, this is a month of planning. This is the time to take all these points that I'm talking about and start putting them into a goal plan that you can do during your summertime or your winter time, or whenever you are slow in your business, or whenever you're slow in your career. The second thing you want to do is also redesign your social media profiles, your YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff. Just go through all the social media, including LinkedIn, and just tell people about the changes that have occurred, the positive changes, so that people can get re-excited. And I say re-excited. You want them to get re-excited with your business and your products and your services and what you are doing, okay? Because that's how you keep the loyalty in your clients. You're going to have people that's going to follow you for like umpteen years, and then all of a sudden they're going to come out and say, hey, I've been following you and I really like what you're doing, and I really would love to get your service or buy your service. It takes time to mature a client, and sometimes you'll never get that client, and then sometimes you will. But people will not understand you, especially the ones you don't meet. And I'm particularly talking about the ones you never ever meet. because your website is not up to date or your social media says something different than your website. Be consistent, have everything the same. Everything should be leading back to you with your new brand, okay? You want to make sure that people know that your change have occurred. Send them a newsletter, let them know that you have something new and exciting that you want to show them, so that you can get reconnected back to your audience and find out what's changed in them, and keep it positive, right? Because it's a slow process, right? It's a very, very slow process. But in the end result, what's going to yield for you is that your brand will become more valuable as you become more known to your customers. It's one of those things. It's the second, matter of fact, it's the second hardest thing besides networking is, you just have to really like get to know your audience. And I really believe that. Um, I can market to people all day who I don't know and try to get somebody who I don't know to buy my service, but it's more fun when I get to know people one on one who is out there and who really likes my service, and I really get to know them and what they like and what business they like to do, and because then that way you always become more than just a customer and an organization selling to someone. You become more of a partner, and they trust you, and that trust is why people buy. That trust is why people tell other people about you. That's what it's really all about, folks. And it's that simple. It's really, really that easy. Okay. So again, if you have any questions, and I think that is really the last one. If anybody has any questions about anything that I said before, because and I'm doing these webinars because I know that I like to share this type of information. There are a lot of businesses out there who are working full time and trying to do their business on the side, and they're trying to do their best. And so for me, this is just a way of sharing what I know. I went through this. I know other people going through this same thing, and it worked for them. It's working for me, and I want it to work for you guys. So please feel free to ask your questions. I will leave it open for anybody have a question. If not, you can ask your question in a playback, or you can ask your questions in a private message. Either way, guys, I am here to help you guys do what you do in your business and everything like that. So I hope you guys enjoy some of these tips that I put out there for you guys and everything. And I'm gonna have to work on this platform, y'all, because it's a bit slow for me. But I really, really like this platform because I'm actually able to share Microsoft Word. So please let me know if you have any questions. I'm going to sit here for a few minutes and see if there are any questions. And if not, we're going to end the webinar.